Hello and welcome to Chattercade Podcast, where we break down and review a TV series this time.
Yeah.
Wow. Branching out.
Well, we've done it once. We did it one division, so it's not really branching out. We've already done it once.
Ripping off.
But, we've actually got Hayden here this time.
Yeah. Hey, and we're going to be watching the Ben 10 series.
No.
Woo!
But you said that's what we're going to do. That's why I got on Omnitrix and everything.
No. We're discussing the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh.
That's why he's wearing Captain America, not Ben 10.
Yes.
You thought we were doing Star Wars?
Why? Because he's got fucking Star Wars on his shirt.
Oh. Fuck me.
His mind's like, what? I don't know what he's on about. Oh.
No. I'm wearing camels.
What's shows about camels?
Camels and birds.
Oh, I know. You're thinking of doing 64's your lane.
What?
That's an old reference.
Yeah.
Yep. Depending on how long this goes, it may be split into two parts. We'll see. So I might do an outro. If I do an outro before we get through everything, it's definitely a two-parter. So we'll see. Okay. Let's kick this off with an actual sort of overview, like a mini opinion, as we usually do for these sort of situations. So,
Not as good as One Division.
I think it's an outstanding show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very consistent with its episode quality. Like each episode's about the same level of goodness, like quality-wise. And I think it's great. I think the acting's outstanding in this, from its leading actors and its extra characters that appear every now and again.
Yeah, its supporting cast is quite good.
Yeah. I think the themes of the show, I don't mean the music. I mean like the themes, as in like the plot themes. I think they've executed perfectly. I think the chemistry between Sam and Bucky is spot on. It's great. I just think they had a good back and forth, and obviously we saw that in Civil War, but it's expanded more here because essentially this is basically Civil War 2. It's a sequel to Civil War.
Yeah, it's all the results of it.
Yeah, because we never really got like an actual sequel to it because it just went on straight to the Avengers, didn't it?
Yeah.
So this is actually the result of that film finally coming to
light.
Yeah. I think they really did US Agent well because he's a character that's designed for everyone to hate, and everyone did fucking hate him. To the extent that weirdos on the internet kept sending the guy death threats. It kind of shows how they wrote the character well. If everyone hates him that much,
a lot of people do that. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah, people are stupid.
They wrote the character so well, people thought it was real.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like you and your abuse, everyone thinks it's real, but it's not.
All I can say is leave Kurt Russell's son alone. That's Kurt Russell's son. So we got Kurt Russell's Ego, and we got Wyatt Russell as US Agent. Who's going to be sticking around the longest? Well, it's not Ego, because Ego's dead. Spoiler alert for Guardians of the Galaxy Part Volume 2.
Ooh.
He got killed by his other son.
Yes.
Chris Pratt.
I think the acting in this show is the usual quality for Marvel projects. So that's great, because obviously this, essentially, because you think One Division isn't your run-of-the-mill Marvel project. It was like
that's why it hits so good.
It was experimental, as you say, but this is more run-the-mill Marvel type of project,
but it's just as deep. I'd say it's just as deep.
Yeah, just easily. But so I do think it's done really well. It's kind of interesting because obviously this was meant to have kicked off this phase. Black Widow was technically meant to, but in terms of TV, this was meant to. And I'm kind of like, since he's technically going to be like sort of leading the way now as Cap, I kind of feel like it should have been the kickoff one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, it's interesting they went the way they did. But then again, if this was the kickoff one, we would have actually got the better finale for One Division. So they could have actually done the filming and CGI'd the stuff that they were going to do for that. So it's kind of like, this should have been first. Plus, just think, if the first MCU official TV show ended with our fucking new Captain America just appearing on screen, That would have been a great way to kick off this phase.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, allow Doctor Strange to appear in WandaVision.
That, and it meant we would have meant that we wouldn't have to wait so long between WandaVision and Doctor Strange. a bit of a shorter gap. Not that much, like 2 months shorter, but still.
2 months is 2 months.
Exactly.
Although I don't think it would have got the amount of I think it wouldn't have had the same traction if WandaVision brought in more people who actually believe that Disney Plus can actually do these shows the same standard. Whereas I think if we start off with just Winter Soldier and Falcon, they probably would have thought like, I don't know, it seems like a classic like TV show. You know what I mean? If WandaVision at least it got people thinking these aren't just run the mill like normal generic shows. They're deeper and they're more. They're done in a way that you wouldn't think they're Marvel. You know what I mean? It's like it's not the classic Disney light-hearted stuff. They do address the dark themes.
Well, I think this does as well. To be fair,
Yeah,
it addresses race a lot of the times.
I mean, like, they both address these dark themes that they have to deal with, and they do it in a very like normal way. I think like a very like realistic way. Well, in this series, it's a very realistic way. In WandaVision, just magic, but and complete crazy. But yeah, in this one, they do it in a realistic way because obviously they start off with like obviously Sam giving the shield like away because we later find out it's because he doesn't think the world would accept a black Captain America.
Well, I think it's more over the fact that he doesn't feel worthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other guy that believes that sort of statement. Isaiah, he's the one who believes that statement and just gets into Sam's head.
But I do like how obviously Bucky explains that at the time none of them actually realised like how
what it meant.
And that's quite a good like way of doing it. I think definitely.
Yeah, and it also shows that basically anyone can be Captain America.
Yeah, unless you're
evil.
Unless you're US agent.
Yeah. Then you're a knockoff.
Unless you're Walker. Yeah, I like how throughout the show they basically showed how Sam is a good Captain America because everyone wants to take out the evil terrorists. He sees them as like just people who are forced into hard times, and they're like not so evil. And it's not black and white. There's a like reason why she's going for this, and they need to at least have some kind of mercy to them instead of just they're evil, shoot. Yeah,
exactly. See, that's my carrying on from that. That's my only one complaint for this is the villains. I think they're a bit generic and lackluster. There's not much to them, but I personally don't think this show needs this very complex villain like WandaVision did with Agatha. It didn't need this complex villain. Sorry, it's a very back to basic approach, similar to sort of like Hydra back early on in Captain America. So it kind of works for the fact that this is essentially the start of the new Captain America. So it makes sense having this back to basic approach in terms of the villains, but they are kind of a bit meh. So I'm kind of on the fence with them. They're not great, but they're not bad. They're like mediocre essentially. It's my only major complaint regarding the show.
I see them as like I don't see them as villains. They're more of the antagonists, but not villains. I see them as like they're just going about it the wrong way. Like what they want, the result of what they want is right, but how they did it was what's wrong. And I think it makes them villains, and I think it makes them like simple.
Well, not all of them are villains. All of them are literally like the only one who's really doing anything straight up bad is her. The rest of them is like, okay, so
we're just a follower.
Yeah, because they even like address it multiple times. It's like you can't, you don't have to kill them. You don't have to do this.
Yeah, but I also think that is a
simps. I call them.
it's probably to do with the serum. Because obviously the whole point of the serum, like even from Captain America, is it makes whoever you are inside, and it like exemplifies it. It
Yeah.
made the Nazi race into Red Skull, and it made the skinny good guy who's the most innocent person ever into Captain America. And we see that with obviously with Walker. Even though he wants to do good, but he's still quite a violent person. He's
Yeah.
holding all this anger in him, and so when he has this messed up like just view with justice, so when he has a serum, anyone like messes up, he just wants to destroy them, even though they might not be the right person.
I think it was also the time he took the serum because he was a bit messed up in the head at the time.
Yeah, I think if he took it early on in the series, it might have not been as bad.
Yeah,
Because he took it when he was
so.
already losing his fucking marbles.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Exemplify what, because at that time he was messed up. It made him even worse. And it could be she might have been messed up because of the situation she had to deal with. Because the whole blip, it's the fallout of the blip as well. Because obviously they want everything to be back how it was. So she, I think, because how messed up the situation was, it made her a little bit messed up and not see everything as blurred. But you can see the times when she's like still holding on to humanity, where she doesn't want to.
Yeah,
Like,
when she's really
kill
thinking
Sam.
about it.
Yeah, when Sam's talking her down, you can see like her giving up, and then Walker comes in and fucks everything up. He's basically the Star Lord.
Essentially, yes.
Everything's going well. He's in like, no, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Well, he is Ego's son.
Oh God, irony. The circle of life.
Yep. No, just don't leave that rope hanging for Simba.
A little John Tran reference there. Okay.
Okay.
He's thinking you're totally carried.
Yeah, totally cherry-eyed.
Let's have a little delve into the actual episodes then.
Mhm.
Obviously, episode 1 is called New World Order, and obviously they're just reintroduced us to all the characters again.
Yeah, and like sets up a tiny bit of the story.
Yeah, because obviously it sort of kicks off with the whole Falcon dress up while he's listening to Cap, which is a really nice way to kick off the show. Is obviously he's remembering the conversation he had about the shield at the end of Endgame, so that's a really nice way to kick it off. And then it just jumps into this massive action sequence, which, by God, is incredible. The CGI is spot on.
Yeah, like an actual like
Movie.
Yeah, like he's pretty much like Winter Soldier, the Captain America.
Exactly.
That level of like CGI and that level of professionalism, it feels like an actual film.
Exactly. And then top it off, Backdrop the Leaper's back.
Oh yeah.
A leap.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I do find it ironic that he's back when obviously he was in the film that Sam debuted in. It's irony that he's back. Not just Sam. Winter Soldier debuted in that film as well. It's a good idea to bring back that villain.
It's pretty much they brought back pretty much almost every character you've seen either in Civil War or in Winter Soldier, and I did like that because obviously it's like the epilogue of those Captain America films. So,
essentially, yeah.
Well done, Disney. Now give me my money, please. Give me my money. You pay me to say this.
I think one of the things I love about this sort of sequence is the GoPro shots when it shows his face when he's flying. Like when it's like full on like zoomed in on his face, he's flying around. I do really love that shot. It's a very nice touch, and I have to think overall it's a great way to kick off this show because obviously, as you say, it's a back to basic approach for Marvel. So it's best way to start off this is a back to basics action sequence. And as you say, for a TV show, they put a lot of fucking money into this.
They did.
That's
worth it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like with this. So if you look at some other shows, they sometimes put really a lot of money into like the opening sequence, cough, The Witcher. But then the CGI budget, as the series goes along, just goes downhill constantly. Whereas this, it doesn't really. Every time it's CGI, it doesn't look. It looks like movie quality.
Consistent.
Exactly. That's why this is a very consistent show.
It is definitely. I don't think there's any bad episodes.
No, not really. I think it's around the. I think that when Zemo comes into, it's one of my favourite parts. Just because I fucking love Zemo. That fucking dance number, which we'll get to eventually. But I mean, fuck me.
Oh.
But what I like with this sequence as well, because it's not just obviously showcasing Falcon's skills, it's also subtly introducing our Falcon replacement. Obviously, Torres. He's obviously eventually going to take up the mantle of Falcon. So obviously, it's a very subtle way of introducing him and going, oh yeah, this guy. And they're like, oh, his name's Torres. And if you're just smart and go, okay, I'll just Google this. Oh, okay, so he's Falcon down the line. Okay.
I am not smart. I did not Google. Tom just told me, literally just.
Well done.
He's Falcon Alex eventually.
Ah, thank you.
Also, I love the whole conspiracy joke. The whole is Captain America on the moon? Which eventually makes it's in the first episode and it's in the fucking last episode. I just love the little joke of, so did you fly him up to the moon or something? It's like, it's that moment as well when he walks off and he goes, where are you going? Moon stuff. I love Falcon.
I look, obviously a reference to the fact that no one really knew what happened to Cap.
No.
Because obviously even they kind of didn't really fully know what happened. Like, they know he went back in time, but they have no idea what kind of life he led. Or else they would have gone like, so it turns out you snogged your great uncle to Aaron, but because he never actually told them.
That's America's ass, though. You wouldn't say no.
I mean, it's fine. Not even Peggy could deny it.
No.
Obviously, I think one of my favourite moments in this episode isn't even like a massive moment. It's a cameo from fucking Rhodey.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I remember watching it. I was like, it's Rhodey. What's Rhodey doing here? And I love how he's like sort of mentoring Sam, like he would with Iron Man with Tony. Like he's like giving him advice of how he would approach a situation like this. But the fact that he's straight up like, yeah, you deserve the shield, so why didn't you just take it? So I like the little mentoring here, because obviously we're not going to see probably Rhodey till Armor Wars. It's a nice way of like bringing him back into the fold for a quick cameo. And, you know, it's better than the Paul Bettany constantly saying, oh, there's going to be like a cameo from someone who I really want to work with, and just turns out to be fucking him as White Vision. It's better than that fake cameo, because it's an actual fucking person.
Oh yeah, because obviously I do love that joke, but I liked how Rhodey came in it, because obviously it's another way of showing how obviously the universe is still connected. Because there's a lot of problems we had with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because even though at the start it seemed like it was connected,
Because Sam Jackson.
After that it went a bit like,
I think it was up to series 5, and I think that's when it stopped being connected.
Because at the end they're like, oh, Thanos is coming, and then the next series, no idea, no reference to it, the snap, nothing. I was expecting to see like half a team gone, and instead it's like completely normal. We're back all of us together, apart from, you know, Fix upstairs in space, the bald guy.
Totally did not just have to search up who Rhodey was.
For fuck's sake, Alex.
Like, Alex, seriously, well, got to talk about this.
Fake fun.
Like, I just watched the shows now. I've stopped with the Easter eggs and all that. Like, I wasn't as invested as I was with WandaVision.
So in terms of obviously sequences overall, I think the Winter Soldier sequence when you see him is probably one of my favourite sequences, because you don't know it's a flashback or anything. All you see is him just killing loads of people and like this really badass sequence. You're just like, I literally remember watching it when I first obviously aired, and I was like, wait, is Bucky back as Winter Soldier? Is he literally killing people again? I was like, I was really happy. I have to admit, I was really excited. I was really giddy. I was like, ooh. And
then it's a psychopath.
Then it's like, I like Winter Soldier. What do you expect? And then it's a fake out. I was like, okay, that makes sense. It would be a bit stupid just for him to randomly turn back to Winter Soldier, but still, it was a nice like little throwback to him as Winter Soldier. Because if you think about it, in the only really time we actually got to see him do any work during the Winter Soldier tenor was in Civil War when he killed Iron Man's parents. That's the only real time we've ever seen him do anything in the past. So it's a nice way of actually giving us something from his past again, which obviously also sets up a little sort of subplot within this show.
Yeah, his own story arc.
Yeah, of redemption essentially for what he did because you know he killed that guy.
Because obviously, the whole point of Winter Soldier is it wasn't his fault, but he still did it.
And he's still messed up from it, which is why he's in therapy. Which I've got to say is when I love the fact people's references to the fact that like wait, so Wanda like needs therapy and she's not in therapy, and yet Bucky and Sam don't need therapy and yet they're in therapy.
Couple counselling.
I love that the shots within the first therapy scene when it zooms, like it's showing that the zooming on the faces when they're talking. That's a really cool like shot, and it keeps like going back and forth between him and his therapist as they're like going through the rules of what he can and can't do. Like rule number 1, don't hurt people. I think it is something like that. That's one of the rules. And it's like I think there's one that's like rule number 2. He's like, wait, that should be rule number 1. I think rule number 2 might be actually don't hurt people. And he's like, wait, no, that should be rule number 1. Because like rule number 1's not as big as rule number 2. Rules, am I right?
But I do like the way they did all of that because obviously when they show him like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm dealing with stuff," and then it shows him actually look like he's getting revenge and attacking people, and it just turns out he's gone to go say, "Look, I gotta say I'm sorry for whatever
Yeah, and then he still fucking just punched that guy in the face.
Yeah, I didn't hurt anybody.
That was good.
Yeah, the fake out of it looks like he's doing some vigilante again.
Yeah.
No, he's just getting sorry. But then obviously there's the bit where did he call the police or something?
Yeah, the cops will arrive when he's walking away. Yeah. Carry on.
I thought it was very cleverly done. No, carry on.
Can I just say, Cap must have fucked up the timeline massively being Endgame because he's now an Asian guy. Oh, sorry, different character. Bucky likes hanging around with old men, doesn't he?
Oh, he's an old man himself. So.
Well, he's 102. Did you say or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. But still, he can manage to get the young girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's pedophilia or what.
Bucky is 106 in Falcon Winter Soldier.
4 years off. Also, obviously, that's one of the next things I want to actually bring up is the fact that obviously we actually finally get to meet Sam's family, his sister and his nephews. Yeah. And Sam's been in this universe in terms of releases for 7 years. Obviously, in terms of actual within the universe timeline, it's I think it's 2024 now, isn't it? Or 2025 now in the actual MCU, thanks to Endgame.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much been there for almost 10 years. So I literally can't believe it's took him that long to actually sort of even give us a glimpse of him as a normal human being, essentially. Because everyone sort of has their moments where they're shown as normal because obviously they've got families and whatnot. But obviously it's the first time we get a glimpse of them. But I do feel like this feels naturally. Because obviously this series is focused fully on him and Bucky, so it makes sense this being the one where you get to see him. And obviously
it's good for character progression as well.
Yeah, I feel like it would definitely have been a bit odd if it just happened in one of the movies because it wouldn't have fit in them. Especially if not being his own movie. Because the only one that really worked was obviously Hawkeye's family reveal in Age of Ultron. And the fact that fit perfectly into the story element of it. Because obviously, essentially, the second Age of Ultron was like a Hawkeye redemption arc for the first film's actions. So that fit perfectly. So I feel like it definitely would have felt really weird if he had just Endgame, Sam, you see Sam and his family fighting against Thanos.
Yeah, just see his sister just go up to Thanos, slap him, and Thanos just does the anime roll thing into a wall, and Thanos is dead. Sam's sister saved the universe.
What else did I want to bring up? I like that. I like the fact that they actually reveal who that guy is. the guy he killed in the flashback.
Mm.
I like the fact they like very quickly reveal it's the son of his friend.
Yeah.
Because a lot of shows you watch, they just drag it out, and eventually go, oh yeah, so this guy you killed, that's his son. But I like the fact that within like half an hour,
But that's why Bucky's his friend. He's trying to make him amends and like trying to find a way to tell him, and like
cross his name off the
can't-
book.
Yeah, but he can't make him. Well, can't get himself to do it.
Exactly, because he's still sad.
Sad boy Bucky.
Yeah, no. Obviously, in this episode as well, we get a very small glimpse of the Flag Smashers, the villains of this show.
Yeah.
The fact we get like a little reference early on when they're showing like a handprint on the wall, but obviously we get that whole sequence later on where Torres is like joining them, trying to like infiltrate them, and there's that one guy and he's there just busting his way for everyone. And I love the fact that they like try and focus like, oh no, this is the leader. They don't know he's anyone who's the leader here. They just see like this big massive guy and they assume he's the leader. So that's a nice little.
Yeah, like at the beginning, I honestly thought that was the leader, and I was just like, "Damn!"
And so he's really,
he's just gonna get thrown about.
And so I think that's why they specifically chose the biggest fucking guy possible to go. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the leader because he's a big boy. Ooh. But I did like seeing Torres getting involved a bit. Because obviously, as I say, eventually we're gonna get him as Falcon. So it's a nice little build up showing that.
Yeah, it's a nice little character development for the smaller characters.
Even if he gets
just
his ass kicked.
No, I'm not going to talk about WandaVision anymore because I'll just keep talking about it and referencing it for the entire episode. Sorry. It's not the WandaVision podcast.
Okay, and obviously the ending of the episode when we get the US agent reveal. Or, sorry, Captain America, because he's not US agent till the end. They're like, our new Captain America. I just love how Sam literally earned the shield, but he obviously gave it for the display since he didn't feel like he earned it yet.
Yeah, but I do kind of feel like it's a bit of a dicky move.
Yeah, the government's exactly. They're kind of saying like, "Fuck you, Sam. You're not having the shield."
Yeah,
even though you were like best friends. Exactly. Even though Captain America literally handed it to you and said, "This is yours," you're not having it. You gave it to us for display for like the museum, but fuck you. We're actually giving it up. It's it's kind of a dick move from the government and just shows how much they're arseholes in both fiction and reality.
Yeah.
Government, am I right? Arseholes. But I mean, it was a good reveal at the end because it's like a very shocking ending to the episode. It's a great way to sort of bring this first episode to a close. And obviously, I think the episode overall, in a sense, was very good. Obviously, it set up a few storylines to follow as we go through, and it obviously gave us some character development for the characters we already know of stuff we didn't really know about them or what they're actually up to. So obviously, we never really knew what was going on with Bucky. Really, we knew obviously he was fucked up, but we never actually knew what was going on within his mind because he was very he never really showed that. Like he never really showed anyone what was really going on in there. So it's very nice.
We didn't get much development in the. I was gonna say we didn't get much character development, sort of, in like where we last saw him.
Yeah, because if you think about it, in Winter Soldier, obviously that was just there to develop Winter Soldier to bring that character out. Civil War was just essentially just the Avengers breaking up, so that was the whole plot there. So it's not they just gave us a little bit of info here and there, and then that was it. We saw him in Infinity War, but that was just in battle, and in same with Endgame. So
we saw him in Black Panther, wasn't it?
At the end credit.
Yeah, so we just saw him down. That was it.
Setting up obviously his appearance in Infinity War.
Yeah,
there's never really been anything developed on him.
Besides... Yeah, so like for all we knew, he was still like all cuckoo in the
brains
in the birdhouse,
which he partially is, but not fully.
Well, yeah.
I feel like this is definitely a good way to kick off this show.
Yeah.
So
it's a very good episode.
Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs in the middle, sort of. But I've got a weird thumb.
Middle finger to you.
Oh.
Hayden's very quiet because I can clearly see a light on in the background. So
yeah, she's talking to someone.
Yeah, so I'll give a thumbs up for her. She'll be fine by it. Yeah, she gave a thumbs up.
She gave a thumbs down. That sucks, Hayden.
you suck.
Nah, to be honest, it does get a thumbs up from me.
Yeah,
it was a good start to the show. Not as strong as I thought it was going to be compared, with the two big names that were in it. But yeah, it's still a good start.
Okay, so obviously episode 2 is titled The Star Spangled Man. Obviously, Captain America is now part of this show, even though it's not our Cap.
And they couldn't have the Star Spangled Kid because that's a DC property.
But I do like the fact that obviously the episode opens up with him, because obviously it ending on him makes sense. That it opens up and gives us a bit of information of what the hell's going on here. And obviously we get this very brief introduction to John Walker and stuff about him. He's obviously he's military. He's done many tours with his friend Lamar, who's picked because he's obviously the top candidate for the Captain America role. But I do like the fact that he's got these two voices in his head. Like, he's like, I want to do this, but I don't want to fuck up. He's got these two arguing voices in his head.
It's big boots to fill.
Easily. That's why Sam didn't want to film at first. That's why he literally got the show. He's like, yeah, I'm not ready for this. I have not earned this yet. Even though he had, because of the fact that he saved the world.
Multiple times.
Exactly. But yeah, I do like this is a good. I do feel this is a very good start to an episode to introduce us to this piece of shit. Not Captain America.
Yeah, they could have picked like someone else, like someone who actually did save the world. Like I think Bucky could have been, if like not Sam, then Bucky.
Yeah, well, technically, I would say Bucky. It was in the comics. He's the first one that takes over after Cap. But I mean, I'm kind of happy that he doesn't in this because
it fills out the Winter Soldier a bit more.
One thing I didn't put it in my notes, but the fact that obviously later on, I won't say too much, but obviously that scene when John becomes a murderer, essentially Bucky is already a murderer still. So out of the three of these men, both of those are murderers and aren't what Captain America stood for. Whereas Sam is a murderer and he's what Captain America stood for.
Yeah.
I got a little philosophical there, but you get my point.
Did yeah? It's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, I think it's a spot on intro. It's not as strong as the first episode's intro, but that's because I was action focused. I was like edgy seat focused. This is more like character full on introductions because we don't know anything about this guy. We just saw him in the last episode. That was it.
It's also good for like people who are just getting into the shows. But if you haven't watched like the movies, you're not gonna know what's happening technically. With some of the things like
they try to explain some stuff here and there.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. It's like it is a good way to like. It's good for like new viewers to like get them caught up, sort of. But it's also not enough for like everything.
Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna lie, I've not watched the Captain America films. I've watched the Civil War one, but that's it.
You went with us to cinema to watch it, dirty twat?
Yeah, I've watched the Civil War, but I don't count Civil War as a Captain America film.
It says Captain America in front of it. It's a Captain America film.
I know, but like, I don't count it to myself as a like Captain America.
What's next? You're not going to count the new 4 movie as a 4 movie because Guardians of the Galaxy are in it.
Probably not.
And Hayden's crossing her arms because she's very disappointed in you right now.
You like disappointment, Alex.
I do need to watch the first Captain America film and second.
Second one's the one I recommend the most because the second one by far is the best of the three. Though I like Civil War, Winter Soldier is the best of the three. Good backshot the leap, isn't it? Leap.
You'd probably be more invested with Bucky if you like, and Sam if you'd have watched those two films.
You're right, I probably would have. Yeah. So it's my own fault, but yeah.
You've obviously watched Age of Ultron, which obviously had both Vision and Wanda in it.
Yeah.
So you are invested with.
And I'm more invested in Wanda because I like what she does. I like the power set that she's got. I'm not invested in people because they're the same as me.
You like magic.
Yeah.
One thing I do like, obviously, cause this sequence that started is obviously an interview. It's on TV and everything. And at the end of the first episode, you got to see Sam's reaction to the Captain America reveal, but you never got to see Bucky's reaction. So I like that they actually instantly show Bucky's reaction, like because Sam was sort of like upset, and there's Bucky just getting really fucking angry. He's like, "That's it. I'm gonna go knock someone's brains in for this."
It's a shame he didn't.
Well, he does later on, but obviously, I like the fact that then he specifically just runs straight to Sam and he's like, "What the fuck did you do that for? The shield was yours. We literally gave it to you." why the fuck did you give it up for them to give it to this guy? And Sam's just like not giving a shit. He's like, oh, I'm actually busy. Can you just leave me alone? He's like, no, I ain't leaving you alone. What are you dealing with? He's like, oh, I'm dealing with one of the big three: androids, wizards, and aliens. Is it? Aliens,
Yeah.
androids, aliens, and wizards. He's like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, it is. He's like, oh, Doctor Strange. He's a sorcerer. Sorcerer's a kind of wizard. It's the whole Gandalf joke as well. And he's like, you know Gandalf? Well, I read The Hobbit when it first came out.
I do like
The chemistry in
the
this scene is just really good.
they hinted at the banter they would have in Civil War.
Yeah, with the seat. Can you move your seat forward? No.
And that's basically their banter is pretty much them two arguing, but in a friend kind of way.
Exactly. It's a very good scene to get their chemistry off. Because obviously we haven't seen them together yet. This is our first time with them together. So it's a great way of showing instantly that these two have really good chemistry going forward.
They really do.
And obviously then they head off to do some action, don't they? And Bucky is so suicidal for jumping out of a fucking plane without a fucking parachute.
No, he didn't. need it.
He must have watched the other guys like the day before because he aimed for those bushes.
Oh my god! When will that joke die?
Never. Just like in my head, Ken and Sam Jackson and Dwayne Johnson did not die in that movie.
Yeah, we don't need to hear that. Not today.
They just wanted to snooze in the ground for a bit.
No, no, it's not your theory. It's Hayden's theory that we don't need to hear today.
What? Look, they survived, okay?
But I did like obviously when the banter goes into the extent when Bucky's like saying all this stuff and Sam's like, "Oh, you go to Wakanda and you come back as White Panther." He's like, "It's actually White Wolf." He's like, "Wait, what?" The fucking the banter between them is just really spot, especially when they're in that building. He's like, oh, "I'm gonna take him." He's like, "No, I want to see how many there is. I can take them. There's like 2 of them." Oh, what? Red Wing, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, there's 5. Oh, there's 6. Oh, wow. So, yeah, it's just 2.
They're the perfect partnering.
Oh, they are good.
It's just like me and you, Tom.
No.
Okay, time to leave. Bye.
But gonna say though, since when did Bucky become the Flash? When he's chasing after those fucking trucks, he just fucking he's just straight out of that fucking building. I was sat there going, wait, is this guy the Flash now?
It's a very slow Flash.
This is fucking.
He does. They do move quick, don't they? With the super serum.
He's a fucking. I move fucking. I don't think Bucky needed that bite the day he killed fucking Iron Man's parents. He could just fucking chase them now.
Damn.
But I mean, obviously this running obviously builds onto this episode's action sequence, because every episode has one action sequence, and obviously this one is the truck scene, which is very good for the fact that obviously I love the fact that Bucky gets in the back of the truck. It's like, because they're like, oh, there's a hostage in there. He's like, hey, how are you? And the next day he just goes, wee. He's like, oh shit, she's one of them. And obviously this is the first glimpse of our leader, but we don't know yet it's the leader. And obviously
it's just a little girl trapped.
Yeah, and I like the fact that obviously it's the fighting, the whole sequence like showcases their fighting style, especially when you introduce Captain America and Battlestar, and they have this obviously different like things. Obviously, you got Falcon using his flying skills to fly around. You got Bucky, trying to do hand-to-hand stuff. And obviously there's Cap with his fucking gun, which isn't a Cap thing, but it's kind of like a First Avengers Cap situation, because Cap used it in First Avengers, the guns.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a callback to that, but it's still not our Cap.
It's not our Cap. Not our Cap.
But, I do like the fact, obviously, when the Avengers get fucking taken out completely, Bucky straight up, yeah, these are super soldiers, so yeah, we need to deal with them. And then Sam's just on his chest. He's like, "Get off me, man!" It's more bad.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being underneath Bucky. Sorry, I'll stop with my gayness.
I'm just like, do I agree or?
But I do like that. I do very much love the fact this is essentially just a straight up sequel to Civil War. It references other films, but it's straight up Jesus following on from that storyline. for the fact
Yeah.
that there's more super soldiers, which is a big plot point in that film. But I do like the sequence. Obviously, it's like two trucks side by side, and they're jumping back and forth, beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup for a stage.
And there's I do like the fact as well. Sam shows how much of a hero he is. He's trying to save Bucky when he's trapped underneath the truck. He tries everything he can to get through the vehicles. So it showcases that he's a better hero than Cap. Who, though I will say, Cap does save his friend. He throws the shield to help him Lamar get off the truck when he falls
off.
off.
The shield did not come back now, did it?
Yeah,
if it was a true Captain America, he would have threw that shield, it would have saved his friend, and then it would have came back. Fake Captain America.
Well, he didn't bench, did it off the floor. That guy's ass was sat on it, what'd you expect? He's fucking gonna fly back with him attached to it like a fucking Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Hint, hint.
I think of that fucking wrist thing that Cap has in the second.
Yeah, the one that didn't Coulson have one as well?
Yeah. Well, Coulson was the hologram one, but he's the
one that's in fucking Next Avengers.
It comes back. Why is that? You didn't finish.
I like as well. Obviously, after the battle, when it's like they're trying to calm it down a bit, like do a bit more character moments. You got Sam and Bucky having like a little walk and just like fucking arguing with each other over and over again. He's like, "What the hell's going on in your mind?" "Oh, I see the cogs moving. They're burning. They're exploding."
God.
And then obviously you bring obviously the cap situation when they pull up and like, "Hey, come on, let's get in the. We'll drive you there." And they're just like, "Nope, keep on walking, assholes." And it's just this whole like awkward moment when they're actually in the car and they're having this discussion. It's just there. Bucky's just like, he's like, "Is he always like this?" And he's like, "Yep."
You get used to the staring.
I do like with this situation, Sam's trying to keep the peace. Obviously, Bucky's straight up just like, "I don't want anything to do with you." And even when the guy says, "Oh, my name's Battlestar," he's like, "Yep, stop the truck, I'm out of here." I do like Sam's there trying to keep the peace. Like, okay, we got information we can both use. But then it's this bit when he's like, "Oh, I need Cap's wingman on the side," and Sam's like, "Yeah, that's the final straw. I'm done." And obviously he's like, "Yeah, nope."
I find it like quite funny that they go like, right, Cap needs a sidekick. What do? Why don't we just mix Bucky and Sam together in one? There we go.
Perfect.
Pretty much. Let's get Winter Soldier, but make him black, and remove his arms, have a normal arm, and he can be a weak, normal human, like Sam. Brilliant. I find that quite the idea, like especially like they're like the B Tech versions.
Essentially, yeah, they're the B Tech versions of the real deal. But I mean, obviously, we've a bit later on. I think just after this scene, we actually get to meet obviously the Flag Smashers more. And showing obviously how like far their reach is with people helping them, but obviously that seems where we actually meet the leader, which is obviously Carly. So we actually are like, okay, she's the leader of this group, which I might add, she's from Tamworth.
Yeah, I know.
Same our age as well. How life could be.
Literally, it's like the first time we was like, with like Tom Holland. We were like, Tom, that could have been you. And now it's like, you could have been Carly, Tom.
She was in Solo as well. That's where I first saw her, was in the Solo movie. She's going to be in the Willow TV series soon. Warwick Davis. Which is ironic because Warwick Davis was in Solo as well. And they were linked to each other. The irony. But yeah, I like as well, there's a little hint to there's someone above her who's a bit more of another villain. With that whole text of, "I'm going to kill you." "You don't know what you're doing, little girl. You don't know who you're messing with." And it's like, okay, who's this? A mystery, I see.
I fucking love the reveal.
It was very... Yeah, we'll get to it later on. But I mean, obviously, there's a bit more of a bigger scene coming up in a minute when we get to meet Isaiah. When Bucky takes Sam to meet the original Black Super Soldier. And obviously, it's very impactful. So obviously, Bucky's got a history of him, but it's something that someone who Sam didn't know existed. Because he's
literally someone Sam kind of needed to know.
Exactly.
Well, for the story to go on.
Is obviously impactful for obviously black culture and whatnot. Because obviously he was what Steve was to sort of a white culture, essentially.
Yeah.
But I think it's helped as well by the acting of Isaiah, thanks to Carl Lumbly, who played Martian Manhunter's dad in Supergirl.
Yeah.
And he really sells that anger and emotion, that whole, like, especially when he's like, oh, I did my job, and I did to me for doing my job. They locked my ass away for 30 years.
Yeah, so obviously the whole point is no one back then they would not want the world knowing there was a black Captain America.
Exactly.
And
So they locked him away for it.
Mm.
And obviously, as I say, it's a very emotional scene, especially when he, because Sam doesn't realize at first. Sam's just trying to like think. He's like, okay, what's going on? And then when he throws the fucking the box into the wall, and Sam's like, oh shit. Okay, so this okay, this guy's a super soldier. So it's a very impactful scene. I think he definitely one of the standout characters to come from this show.
Yes, most definitely.
And obviously then this scene sort of flows into an actual real life sort of situation in the cop scene. When the cops like get involved because they're arguing. Can I say, how many fucking cop cars arrived just for them arguing? There's about fucking 4 of them, wasn't there? But I mean, obviously it's a very blatant political message.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the time it was. But I mean, it very much works because the idea of, though he's a superhero, obviously this police sort of discrimination is racism essentially in not just police force but in a lot of fucking obviously hierarchies. It can happen to literally anyone, and it's not right. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and if he wasn't like an Avenger,
they would have arrested him.
They wouldn't have stopped at all.
It's literally just like Bucky's like, you know who this guy is, don't you? And obviously that cop whispers, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. It doesn't matter if you apologise. You should not have fucking got stopped anyway. It's just because these two are having like an argument. It wasn't even like a violent argument. Just shouting at each other. It's not. It's not as even if it was like a full on like fighting. If they're fighting, fair enough. Get involved, stop them and whatnot. But I mean, they were literally not doing anyone harm, and these guys just being racist and got involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good time for the show to come out with like this kind of stuff,
Exactly.
especially recent like.
So, it wouldn't surprise me if this one was one of the sort of ones they filmed as soon as they were able to start shooting again. It wouldn't surprise me if this was like a late addition in terms of scene adding, but it adds to the show's massive theme. So it does very much work.
Definitely.
And it gives it a serious tone.
It's something that needs to be addressed as well. Like even like the Marvel universe has all this discrimination, and it's all with Luke Cage and stuff. It needs to be solved in here, in our world as well as in there.
Exactly. And obviously, they did do go a bit more lighthearted after this scene when they did the therapy scene, so it does bring it back to, we've had our serious moment, we've got our message out, let's have a little jokey moment with Sam and Bucky doing the fucking staring contest in therapy. It's a nice way of sort of cheering up the audience after that sort of moment, and it just shows their chemistry even more between these two. But the fact that they're just having a competition, that one was like, wait, are you guys having a staring competition? Stop it!
They do have great chemistry, we keep saying, but
they should marry each other.
That's basically the whole joke, is that they're basically a couple.
Essentially, yeah. But I did like with this scene, the fact that when Bucky argues with Sam about giving up the shield, because it's like, okay, if Steve was wrong about you in terms of giving you the shield, then maybe he was wrong about me.
Yeah.
It shows that he still has these issues in his mind.
He's got those insecurities.
Yeah. I do like the court. I just really like that line.
It's a very realistic reason for why he's so upset about him giving the shield. It's because if that meant he was wrong about you, he's wrong about me. And to him, that's all he's probably been holding on to, was that Cap believed he deserved redemption.
Yes.
Exactly. And there's obviously another sort of scene within this episode follows on after this, with the whole flag smashers when they're staying in the plane, and the one gets gunned down and killed. I do like that because it showcases the fact that these can still be stopped. Because obviously, after watching them fight in the first episode and in this episode,
you'd think that they're more immortal, wouldn't you?
You think they're indestructible forces. But showcasing obviously them just getting shot down by one of the power brokers, armies. It's a good way of showing that these can still be stopped. At the end of the day, they may be super soldiers, but they are still human. So guns away, bang, bang, bang. And obviously the ending of the episode as well. It isn't obviously as impactful as the cap reveal in the first one, but I like the bit when Bucky's like, okay, there's only one person who knows super soldiers more than anyone, and it's like, wait, no, we can't get to him, and Bucky's like, we have to, we need to get Zemo, and he's obviously kicking off what's to come with the next few episodes. And it's quite cool as well, because the fact that obviously it's the last person Bucky would ever want to see after what he did to him in Civil War.
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it just shows like how important he's going to be towards the cause.
And then that fucking music hits, that fucking opera music, and it's like panning through like the fucking German prison. He's just sat there, and he's like, I'm back, bitches. Because I think it's a really good cameo at the end of this episode, because I really love Zemo in Civil War. He's a really great villain, for the fact that he's the only human to really fuck up the Avengers. So the fact that we're finally getting more of him, yay.
Yay.
Exactly. So again, obviously, there's no raw for this episode. I think another solid episode with some very good action. The little cameo at the end set up for the next episode, and a good shot of seriousness with the whole police scene. And it's a very well timed message, and it just sums up how good of another episode we got, and it's just getting even better as it goes along. So, thumbs up again.
Definitely. Could be a thumbs up every episode, pretty much.
I think I might have one with 2. We'll see.
Oh.
That's it for Chat Cave Podcast. This bonus TV special. For the magic of editing, I'm here a day later after recording, because this is getting cut into a, depending on how I cut the next one, maybe a 3-parter, may just be the 2-parter, but we'll see how it goes. So actually join us this Friday for the usual Chat Cave podcast day, where me and Hayden were discussing the Teenage Mutant Turtles movie, the 2014 one. But for this actual part 2, it will be next week on the exact same day of this, and I'm not naming the day because I don't know what day I'm putting out yet, but this time next week, part 2. The 3 of us will see you there.